Are you curious about Swedish death cleaning? That is coming right up. And if you hear any noise in the background, I have kids. Sorry, not sorry. I'm trying to outnumber the idiots. You're welcome. My name is Nikki Schumacher. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, consider subscribing. Hit the little notification bell down below so that you know when I upload. I'm gonna fold some laundry and chat with you all and drink some coffee. Maybe this will just be a chat with the baby in my lap. How awesome is it to chat about death cleaning with one of the newest humans on the planet?
Oh, wow.
We don't see folded laundry around here very often, do we? And don't mind, I'm nursing. I'm trying to keep it off camera. Today we are chatting about Swedish death cleaning. I did some digging, I did some reading, I watched a video by the Mustards, which I will link below. They have an awesome, like, minimalist YouTube channel. They're super cute couple, just darling. They love each other so much. And they are Scandinavian, actually, and I do believe they are from Sweden, so it was kind of cool to hear their perspective. But what Swedish death cleaning is minimalism. It's minimalism. It's minimalism coming from a different perspective. Do I think it has value? Yes. It's just the wisdom of minimalism coming from a different perspective. A very older woman, I think she's like in her 80s, wrote the book Swedish Death Cleaning. I have a little bit of a different perspective on decluttering as well, because I did used to be a hospice chaplain. If you don't know what that is, most people don't feel bad. I admit I didn't know what it was till about 5 minutes before I sent them my resume. Wonderful experience. I think that everyone should have to volunteer for hospice, honestly. What a hospice chaplain is basically a spiritual social worker for those who are passing away. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of elderly clients. I worked for an amazing hospice company here in my area of Boise, Idaho. An OBGYN or a midwife helps you have a baby. A hospice company helps you to die with dignity. It's just an awesome resource that we have here in the States. I don't know what it's like in your country, to aid with palliative care and spiritual support, social work type support for the dying and for their families. So Swedish death cleaning, it's nothing new. I learned this from the Flylady, actually. If you haven't heard of the Flylady, where have you been all your life? She's kind of like the mom of minimalism today. The KonMari Method is really awesome. That was a huge trend, and Flylady has not caught on as big. I think her day is coming, but I don't know, since the early 90s, Marla Silly, I believe her name is, has been teaching minimalism, and she said, before this book ever came out, she said, look at your stuff, and who wants to leave a bunch of stuff for their family to clean up after they pass away? If you have been through that experience where a loved one has passed away and they never decluttered anything, it is so overwhelming. And I saw this over and over and over again as a hospice chaplain, people just being overwhelmed and feeling guilty for getting rid of their loved ones' things. Just kind of keeping that in mind every once in a while, that you want to leave things for your loved ones better than you found them. You want to steward over your life and your belongings, and of course not expect them to keep everything that you ever owned, every scrap of paper. The concept of Swedish death cleaning is very, very interesting. The KonMari Method is very, very interesting. But once again, the Flylady, since the early 90s, has been saying, look at your stuff. If it does not bring you joy, get rid of it. Don't keep things that don't bring you joy. And she says, don't keep things that you're not using, and someone else could be using those. When you keep things that you're not using, not only are you not blessing someone else who might need that object, you're thinking poor, you're adopting a poverty mindset. It's totally fine to like save for the future and not be wasteful. It's totally fine to not be wasteful, but a lot of that mentality comes from, you know, some of our parents and grandparents were raised during the Great Depression where, you know, even like a flour sack would be made into a dress. They wouldn't even have the resources to be able to throw a flour sack away. And I'm so thankful that they were resourceful. The problem is when you're not going through a Great Depression and you keep every little scrap, you start to drown in your stuff, and it really affects your loved ones. Hey baby, I got a little baby messing with my camera. Swedish death cleaning, it's awesome. I don't think it's morbid at all to think about the future. Think about how your life affects other people even after you're gone. I think that's a beautiful thing to do. No trees would be planted if we didn't think of those who will come after us. Is it a great concept? Yes. Is it anything new? No. Flylady deserves way more credit than she gets. I really think you guys should check her out. When I was a young wife, I didn't have a clue how to home make. I did not have a clue. We had moved about, I don't know, I'd probably moved like 60 times by 12th grade. So many schools, so many houses. I didn't know how to keep a house because I had never really had one for very long. When you're moving all the time, you don't understand the maintenance, you don't understand decluttering because you've been moving so much. I didn't even know what decluttering was because we were so broke, we held on to everything. My father was one, he was born right at the end of the Great Depression. They had very, very lean times, and we were that family that saved butter dishes. The package that the butter comes in, that was like our organizational bins. That was us. Pill bottles became like a bin for bobby pins, and that's great, but when you save so much more of that than you're actually using and you live in a small space, you drown in your stuff. Or you could think you need a bigger house than you do when really you just have too much stuff. I am not against having a lot of stuff. Right now, I think as a young mom, it's kind of more simple to have less stuff because it's just like more time for me to play with my kids. If I have less things to clean and fold and put away and dust and wash and all the knickknacks, blah, 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 it's just more time for my kids, more time for my husband, more time to go out and do ministry, more time to make YouTube videos, more time to play the piano, more time to write, more time to paint. That's just what I value. Having a lot of stuff there's nothing wrong with it at all. But the value of just thinking ahead, you know, my girls, when I pass away, I do not want them overwhelmed with my belongings. Right. I'm not perfect by any means. I am trying to declutter as I go through life. It's just like I have a will, I have life insurance, God forbid something happened to me. It's one of those things, the older you get, the more you should declutter and start giving the things away that people are gonna want. I mean, I don't have anything super extravagant, but I have a few pieces of jewelry. I plan on just passing that stuff down before, and I have it in a will, and then, you know, if they wanna sell it and do what they want, pay for a semester of college or a wedding or a vacation with their honey, I am so all about that. Store your treasure in heaven. Make memories with your family. The only thing you can take with you to heaven is people, relationships. Not only Swedish death cleaning, but the KonMari method they're pretty cool concepts. They're nothing new. This is my soapbox. I really think that Marla's silly. I just love her so much. She changed my life. She has an amazing system. I have no idea what this video is going to be like, but thanks for watching. You are good. You are precious. Grace.